All right, welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for joining me today. I have got Carolyn Marriott with me, a good friend and a member of the Mission Driven Mom Academy. And we're just going to talk for a few minutes today about her experience for those of you who might be considering it or have gone through part of it or are wondering how to get through it or wondering what it's all about, why you should even care. Carolyn's just going to share some of her experiences. I thought she would be a good person to answer some of your questions, concerns, and other things that have come up about what this whole thing is and why it matters and how it can bless your life. So, Carolyn, let's start by you just telling us a little bit about yourself, your family, your career path, education, whatever you want to share.
Okay. Well, let's go clear back. I was like a straight A student always through high school, pretty good in college. Not quite as straight A, but I always knew there was something missing.
And I felt that way too. That's so crazy. Yeah. Why is that? This like, can't be it. Is this it?
I have this piece of paper in my hand and I know I've never read Shakespeare yet. I knew enough to know that there was holes and that I didn't know how to think. That was for a long time, that was something I knew. And maybe because my dad was a really good example. He was super smart, always reading difficult things. I wouldn't say necessarily classics, but he was always reading and talking about ideas and stuff, but he didn't really teach us how to do it. Maybe he modeled it, but he talked to us, but we didn't really have discussion. Anyway, I don't mean to criticize him, but maybe it's because of him I knew that I was inadequately educated. And then as I started having kids and sending them to school, I was unhappy with the school system. We were not in a good school district, and I began homeschooling. And that's when I say my education really started, because all of a sudden I had this fantastic interest in learning and what education was all about and asking questions and stuff.
Yeah.
And I started doing a book group, just knowing I wanted to stay intellectually active, because especially as a mother of a lot of children, you just feel like a beast of burden. And it just kept my mind busy and had me things to think about. So that was good. But looking back, they were lame book discussions.
I mean, don't know what you don't know.
We were all just like, I don't know. Why did Tess do that? And Tessa do that was so weird. I don't know. We just were we weren't talking about ideas. We were trying, but so again, I was getting there, but I needed MDM a long time ago. Let's just say that. I needed mission-driven teen is what I needed.
Yeah.
But, I'm not dead yet. So
there you go.
There is still time. Anyway, so I was almost done, at the end of my kids at home part of life. And I was in a homeschool group. And I don't know how they learned about Mission Driven Mom, but they would talk about, I would hear their comments and they would say cool things. And I was like, wow, that was so profound. What is this? How are you guys learning this stuff? So I actually think that was the way, because I know some of them were doing it, but I also was somehow on
You were what?
a list. I was on some kind of an email list.
Oh.
I don't know. I think that. So it's a little vague because it's been a while, and it took me a while to kind of get started after I heard of it. And once I started, I don't think you'd been going for too long.
Well, what made you sign up in the first place?
Well, just because I've always had the thing where I wanted to learn more, and I could see from my friends that they seemed to be discussing cool things.
Oh, I see.
And with ideas that I hadn't thought about, and I just, because I had those desires for more, and then they seemed like they were getting some more than what I was from, because we have our monthly book discussions with the group. And so they seemed like they were just really coming up with some good stuff. So so I signed up. It took me a while to get started. I mean, I had every intention to go through the book, because back in the day we got a paper book.
Yeah, the hard copy workbook. It's just
the hard copy,
just a printable now.
Yeah, and I had my plans to go through it, and it was encouraged that we get an accountability partner. So I was like, I should really probably do that.
Yeah.
And then we actually decided to email each other every week about what we'd done. But that didn't go so great. So for about 6 months, actually, then we met at one of the celebrations. I think it was the first celebration.
Uh-huh.
So actually meeting her in person, and we sat by each other, and we had this newer connection. And we were like, we need to just like do a Zoom meeting. So every week we started doing a Zoom meeting together.
Oh,
And that's when we really took off. My daughter does it with a couple women that she's met. They're in different states and everything than she is, but
oh, wow.
they're in different parts of the program. But my first partner and I, we worked together.
Yeah.
And that worked really well. So we could discuss the ideas with each other, and we could talk about how we were working to apply things in our lives. But I feel like once that would be a thing I would encourage people, is to get together with. I've never met anyone in this program who I just did not adore. Met so many great women.
Yeah.
Who are like-minded, I guess. Yeah. Think that being a mother is important. Think they have a mission, really want to learn, or seeking truth.
Yeah.
That's my kind of girl.
Yeah, amen. Amen.
So Valerie, my first partner, and she's like, I don't know, she could be my daughter, I think. Yeah. So that didn't matter. We got on great. And then we heard of other women, and we ended up joining their group. So now we're in a group of like 8 of us who are getting together weekly. And then I just started to meet other women, and I now have just best friends in the world. And what do we do together? We talk about ideas. Years ago, I heard someone say, you should talk about ideas, not people, like as in don't gossip, right? And I was like, well, what else is there? I mean, what ideas would we talk about? Like,
yeah.
It's like,
now there's so many.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Yeah, now there's so many.
So tell me what you remember about what were some of the things that you were learning in the program that you can remember that stood out to you?
So the number one, maybe my number one takeaway is just to be a creator. And when I opened my book, so there was also kind of a small what would you call it? I want to call it a meme, but it was on paper that said, I am a creator. And I literally had tears spring to my eyes because I'd never heard that. And I like instantly knew it was true. So one of the things that has been a recurring blessing to my life is to recognize I am not a victim. I can choose the life I want. I can create the life I want. Things will happen to me that I cannot control.
Yeah.
But I can control the circumstances that I've given. And I am like God that way. I create with what I've got. And that has been life-changing. It has made my marriage better, all of my relationships better. It's made me happier. I still will be like, okay, I'm in victim mode right now. But I recognize it, and I will come out of it. Where I think I've been in victim mode for years, decades, maybe, blaming others.
Yeah.
Feeling helpless, hopeless.
Yeah.
So that was huge. That was huge.
Yeah. So why do you feel like it's made such a big difference in your relationships?
Well, I'm not blaming, for example, my husband. I'm not blaming him because he is the way he is, and he wants to do things this way.
Okay.
And I want to do it that way, but I'm more of a pleaser, and he's more of has opinions. And then I'm mad at him because he had that opinion, and I had to do what he wanted, right? Like, no. And he doesn't want a doormat wife anyway, as much as he likes having his way and having to give in. That's not what he wants.
How are you showing up as a creator without being off-putting to people, or like making them feel like now it's your way or the highway or something like that? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? That kind of nuance of how do you feel like you're showing up in the relationship in a way that is this creator way? Like, can you describe
that?
Like
maybe we're like, well, let's talk about this because this is what I think this is how I think we should do it. What do you think
Yeah.
about that? And okay, I can see one of us might have to compromise here. And if it's going to be me, I'm not going to hold it over your head forever.
Mhm.
Kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like it's not meaning you have to have your way. It's just not blaming the other person always
Yeah.
for anything
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. And owning
And
your own stuff.
owning your own stuff. Yeah. And right, maybe I'm not the easiest to live with. I've not considered that. Yeah. Helps you maybe see more clearly. Another huge thing though that I think has really helped me with relationships is we work to discover our top values.
Yeah.
And that was just a short book we went through. And I was like, this is so dumb. I mean, of course, all these values are fabulous. What I can't choose, like, I'm not going to say honesty isn't a top value for me, but it's not, like I figured out,
Uh-huh.
not that I go around lying, but
Yeah.
it's just not one of my top values.
Yeah.
So that was a huge thing. And it took me weeks. And I slowly discovered, oh my goodness, the way things look, aesthetics are really important to me. That is one of my top three.
Wow.
And not that it means my life is perfectly aesthetically beautiful, but it's very
Yes.
important to me. That's okay. That was another thing because I'm always like, I'm too, I shouldn't be so focused on that. It's so worldly or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's one of my gifts to the world.
Yes.
And then my husband, unfortunately, I don't know if how the what would be ideal for a marriage, but his top three values are different than mine.
Sure.
So now I recognize that, oh, like independence is probably his number one value.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like 99 on my list. It's pretty
Uh-huh.
far down there.
Uh-huh.
So now I value his independence instead of seeing it as annoying.
Wow.
Um, well, like I had never identified that, but just
Sure.
like, man, he just really wants to do things. He wants to own his own business, like all those things that are really
Yeah.
important to him
Yeah.
are not important to me. And so I didn't understand it. But
Yeah.
now I see, oh, it's one of his top values. Aesthetics is not one of his top values. So we can work together, to, like I say, compromise when needed.
Yeah.
Maybe I need a little more security than his independence is giving me, or maybe I need the house a little cleaner and what he would care about. So we recognize that we have these differences and they're good. They're both equally good. One is not better than the other.
That's awesome.
So that was a big one for me too. It helped me respect myself more because I thought my gifts were kind of boring and dumb.
Mhm.
And now I'm like, ooh, a little bit of perfectionism can be good. Right? Like when it comes to written word, I can go in there and I can fix this misspell, put the commas where they should go.
Yeah.
And that's not very exciting, but the world needs that.
And
So
you enjoy it
I
and you're
do
good at it.
it. So that was a big deal too.
That's awesome. So, what about the concept of principles? That's a pretty heavy focus. So, what does that mean something different to you now than it did when you started? And if so, what is the difference and what difference has it made?
So when I read something now, I'm looking for what are the underlying principles. I watch a movie. What are the underlying principles? What are they saying? What is their worldview? I'm asking those kinds of questions. It's totally helped me be a more principled, more critical thinker
Mm.
and dissect what people are saying, understand where their fallacies are, where
Mm.
their flaws are, because like that's not based on truth. That's not based on a natural law. That's not based on
So you feel
the
like you're more
principle of
discerning.
truth. We're discerning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And what difference do those principles make in your life? Like you think differently, you feel like you can discern principles better. How is that helpful?
because I'm able to align my life better with true principles instead of misbeliefs that are making me less happy, less successful.
Can you think of an example of one of those?
I mean, I actually can't at the top of my head, but again, I would say the idea, I didn't recognize that I saw myself as a victim,
Yeah.
and that was better to be to create
Yeah.
than to blame and to persecute. And
Yeah. So why is it important to be principle centered in your mind? If somebody were to ask you, why do you even care about principles? Why should I even bother to learn principles? Who cares? What would you say to them?
because there is truth and there is consequences to living according to truth or
Mm,
not,
yeah.
and you can't get away from that.
Yeah.
You, lip service will not change that. Like if you say something that's not true is true, it doesn't matter if you say it, it's just still not true, and it will not lead you to a place of goodness and happiness.
Mm, yeah. Oh, that's a great way to say it. What was one of your favorite books in the program?
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, wow. Why? I mean, I love that book,
Because
but what did you love about it?
I just didn't expect it to be so applicable to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone should read it. It should be
Yes.
required reading
Yes.
for
I
all
totally
people.
agree.
I've never been truly addicted to anything, a substance, like no substance, or I guess,
Yeah.
but I have reacted to fear. I have been selfish. I have I've had those same processes that could lead me down the path
Yeah.
of addiction. And I have my little mini addictions, that could be cured by applying the truths in that book.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that one so much. Okay, so a couple last things. What about the concept of mission? You mentioned earlier, these
Mm-hmm.
women, they care about being mothers, they care about mission. What does that concept mean to you? Why does that matter in your life?
Well, okay, so I love the idea of being a mother as being your
Yeah.
mission. I mean, I truly
Yes.
felt that. To me, being a mother was the pinnacle of my life. And now I'm a grandmother, so it continues, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Um, but just the idea that I can make a difference in the world is super important to me.
Yeah.
And that my strengths, because we also did Strengths Finder in the program. That was very helpful. I had strengths I didn't realize not everyone had, for example. So I
Yeah.
didn't know that they were my
Yes.
personal strengths.
Sometimes things
Yeah.
just come so easy to you, you don't even realize
Yeah.
they're
You just
actually
think
hard
that's
for
just
other
the way it
people.
is for every, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah, great self-discovery with that. Now I can't remember what we're talking
About mission and why
about. Oh yeah.
it's important.
Yeah. So just that my strengths can be used to good purpose.
Yeah.
And I've been like doing more in my community. I recently worked with a Senate candidate in our state.
Wow.
I'm I just feel more secure in the gifts I have, and I can offer them if people need them,
Wow.
um, and just do more things. And as much as honestly, I would like to sit and watch Netflix all the time. Like I feel the pull. I'm not going to lie. That's not the way I want to spend my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to look back at decades of Netflix. Like
Yeah.
I really want more than that out of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So to feel like I have a mission, there are people I can reach, causes I can help. One of my specific loves is just the love of our country and the love of our Constitution. And while I think a lot of Americans have that, I've always kind of had a strong bend that way. And I tend to enter the political spectrum because
Yeah.
I don't think I would make a good candidate myself, but I can be a great support person.
Yeah.
And I've been a teacher that teaches, about the Constitution and things. I'm passionate about that. And so I don't know. I don't see myself ever being world famous, but I think I'm making a difference
Yeah.
here and there. And
Yeah.
if we all do that, the world is a much better place. So
I love how you said that. it sounds to me like one of the things it feels like that you're expressing is just that you feel more maybe confident. I'm not exactly sure if that
Yeah, that's a
maybe
good word.
more self-aware, more settled into yourself, more
Yes.
comfortable with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's an interesting process that I've watched with a lot of moms. It's like kind of a humble confidence. It's like I'm very aware of where I'm not strong, but it's okay now for me to not be strong there because I know where I am strong and I know what I can give, and I don't need to be able to give everything. I can just give these
Yes.
few things. And so you can be
Well
honest with
said.
yourself and other people about what your limits are, but then because you know you genuinely have something of value to give, you you can show up and do that with a little more
Yeah,
enthusiasm.
totally, totally well said. Yep.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And it all goes back, this story I always tell about being in that class with those women, my friends, and them going up to the front with these roses and not being able to say anything good about themselves and just feeling like, how can we build something that a woman walks away from? I mean, I would say that makes me feel so grateful and humbled that the program came together in a way that creates that outcome for so many women, because that's ultimately what I want. I didn't want them to feel like they were a superwoman and they could do it all and be it all. And I feel like, with all our little, I can do anything, I can be anything, follow your dreams kind of
Yeah.
cultural, you
Yeah.
know, cultural
Selfishness.
little, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're not lies, I guess, maybe, but they're definitely little beliefs that we throw out there, and people internalize those. And this whole thing, I mean, when I was younger, maybe it's just because I wasn't a grown woman yet, but I don't remember so much of this talk about I'm not enough and how can I be enough. I feel like that's really grown,
Mm,
and a lot of and I do think too that it's attacking women and especially mothers, which is why, I mean, lots of women do the program too that aren't necessarily mothers, but specifically for mothers, because I feel like they're kind of beat up. Like the culture doesn't value, like you're saying, I'm really proud of being a mom. That was the pinnacle of my life mission. I feel the exact same way. There's this picture my brother took, he's a professional photographer, of me holding one of my little girls at a family wedding. And I told Blaine, that's what I want on the front of my funeral program, because I want to be remembered as a mom.
mm,
And I know many incredible women that feel that way, but the world tells them that's not noble enough, that's not worthy enough of them and of their lives. And those who have done
yeah.
it and tried to do it well know it called for the best that was in them, it sculpted their character more than anything else. And so for them to not feel proud of that, and for them to feel like they've got to lose their personality and all, they can't do anything good. And so just that tricky dance that our culture struggles
Yeah.
with now, of how do I be a mom and do something that find fulfillment, and I don't know, like be proud of that, but also not feel like that means I don't exist as a separate entity too, and there's nothing for me as an individual. And so just finding the
Yeah.
balance there. But
Yeah. That is the tricky balance.
yeah,
Yeah. 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 Mothers are just so critical to society
yeah.
as our fathers. But yeah, it's making me think so many times I've said, well, I'm just a mom. No, no.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, totally.
You feel a little apologetic, like yeah, you're in the trenches. You're not, there's no glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
that's exciting to know that your daughter's doing the program too, and hopefully it's beneficial to her and her family
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
What is one thing, as we finish up, that you would like to tell to someone who's thinking about doing the program, or who maybe they're thinking about putting their teen in the teen program, or who is stuck in the middle of it and struggling to finish out?
Mm.
Any words of wisdom or advice for them?
Well, I mean, definitely do it. Definitely stick with it. So to me, if someone's stuck, that means they could use a discussion group, or
Yeah.
like they need to reach out to the community. That I think that would do the trick.
Yeah.
For anyone else, I guess I can just give my testimonial that it's a well curated program. Like I really appreciate that you found the best stuff. And some books, it was very nice. We didn't read the whole book. We just like read selections.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that you just picked like the best of everything. And I know there's a lot of resources. So it was just really nice to have them selected. And I think you did a very, very excellent job of picking that would really help us learn and change. And yeah, the earlier in your life that you can be grounded on truth and principles and correct any misbeliefs that you've definitely picked up already, as a young person,
Yeah.
and get on more firm grounding, that will just change the trajectory of your life. And I don't care what age you are. So I'm 60. I'm old.
You got a lot of life left, but yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, Carolyn. That
Thank you.
you said
Thank
some
you for
really,
Mission Driven Mom
oh,
Academy.
you're welcome. But I'm glad to know that it's had so much positive impact in your life and your family's life. And hopefully those who are wondering whether or not this is for them, this has answered some of their questions and concerns. And
I hope so
encourage you to
too.
get in there, grab a friend, do it with them, take your time, apply the principles as you go. And I think you'll find over time that, I mean, there are so many pretty, some dramatic testimonials, but just a lot of women saying, my life is richer, it's fuller, I'm more confident, I'm more settled in myself, I feel better able to navigate life and care for myself and love myself properly. And I'm
Yeah.
really, really grateful that's been their experience. So
That did remind me one more thing, and that is just take the bite-sized pieces. Like there's no
yeah,
rush. Like you want
yeah,
enough of a challenge, and I just fit it into the cracks of my life.
yeah,
I just know, oh, I'll have half an hour here. I'm going to grab that book. I'll take it to the doctor's office, whatever. Rarely did I have a set time that I was able to sit down and do
yeah,
it. Um, but probably like, I don't know, 30 pages a week, I should say, or
yeah.
um,
Then there's lots of videos. You could just watch them or listen to them.
right,
They're in an app
right.
now, so they're easy to
Yes. Yeah,
consume. And
when you're driving.
yeah,
So just pace yourself enough to be a challenge, but not too much to be overwhelming.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. Of course, if this has been helpful, please pass it along, subscribe, like, review, all that good stuff. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.